I'm Gabe with Callan. Now that the weather's starting to get really, really cold, especially in these temperatures, let's talk a little bit about condensation. So condensation is pretty simple. It's that annoying water that forms on your windows, especially when it gets cold out. It obstructs the view and makes it hard to see out, and kind of can affect the window and trim work as well. So window condensation is caused by a bunch of factors. It gets a little complicated and nuanced, especially with like all the fun science and all that stuff. But simply put, it's when it's too humid in the house, or more humid in the house than it is outside, and then the humidity goes to the coldest parts of the wall. And 9 times out of 10, the coldest part of the wall is gonna be the windows. No matter how nice a window it is, it's almost always gonna be the window. That warm air hits the cold glass and starts to condensate, and that's really what causes condensation. So there's a lot of different ways you can reduce it. Really the biggest thing is making sure that you have the thermostat set to a proper temperature. If you go too cold, it actually causes condensation. If you go too warm, it'll start causing condensation. It's a little bit of an experiment, seeing where your house is and where it isn't. You kind of determine what humidity is, and then you can adjust it from there. There's a bunch of ways to do it. Eliminating plants around windows will reduce the condensation. Taking shorter showers can reduce condensation. Making sure when you are showering that there's a vent going so that there's airflow. In extreme circumstances at nighttime, cracking your blinds to make sure that there's some airflow, exchanging that humid air with that cold, dry air. Really extreme circumstances, there's HRVs that you can install through a HVAC company, which takes the cold, dry air, mixes it with the humid, warm air, and kind of dries out the house. There's a lot of ways. What's important to note is if you have a window that isn't made of wood and won't rot, you're gonna be A-okay. There's really not, as far as how much humidity is too much for your house, it's kind of a tough question to ask. Really, depending on how warm it is outside or how cold it is, affects how much condensation you get. The colder it is outside and the warmer it is in the house, the more likely condensation is going to happen. You add more humidity to that and it's just going to make it worse. A lot of times what's good for the home and what's good for the person aren't always the same thing. What's comfortable for you might cause condensation. That's why sometimes you go with a composite or a fiberglass window. So when you get that condensation, you're not really affecting anything. You're not going to rot anything.